Welcome back to another edition of Toys I Did Not Own as a Kid. All right, gang, today we're going to be unboxing this Hydra Stomper from Marvel Studios' What If. And let's get to it. So I got this guy at a toy show. The price, as you can see, was $35. But the guy said anything that was in a rectangular or square sticker, that it was half off. So I actually got this for an even $17, not $17.50. Let's take a look at the box art. So there we go. You can see some box art from the What If series. This is actually more of a drawing. So for those of you who don't know, the What If series is a series on Disney Plus, animated series on Disney Plus that was based on the What If comics from Marvel Comics. I believe the original What If comics came out in the early 70s. It could have been 69 or it could have been 76. I can't remember. I used to love What If comics, and it was usually stuff that they just weren't doing in the comics. It started off with really tame stuff like What If the Thing fought the Hulk, that kind of a thing. And DC started something similar way earlier. They called them dream sequences or something like that, or they would make random comics with storylines that they explained at the beginning of the comic that were not part of the regular canon. That's where, like, what if Superman lost his powers, that kind of a thing. So then Marvel, of course, followed suit, and they actually made a line of comics called What If. And again, they started pretty tame, like What If the Hulk fought the Thing, or but then it started really exploring things like what if the Fantastic Four lost their powers, or what if the Thing lost his powers, or what if a good guy was a bad guy, that kind of a thing. It was really, really cool to see. What if Wolverine never actually became Weapon X, or what if Wolverine had to fight Weapon X, or what if Spider-Man became an agent. So for those of you who have seen that Spider shot, that Marvel Legends Spider shot, that's where that actually came from. It's a What If comic. What if Spider-Man became a secret agent and he worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. as a secret agent, which was actually a pretty cool comic. I do own it. I love the art. But anyway, I am digressing. Plenty of examples now. Now you understand what a What If comic is and what the What If series is. So in this particular episode of the What If series, it is basically what if Peggy Carter, what if Steve Rogers did not become Captain America, and what if Peggy Carter actually became the super soldier. So they called her Captain Peggy, and they gave her essentially the Captain Britain uniform and the Captain Britain shield. They just never called her Captain Britain. They just called her Captain Peggy. So here it is. It says the Hydra Stomper. And in that series, Steve, because he did not get the super soldier serum, was given this suit by Tony Stark's father. So it says here, in the universe Steve Rogers was the first Avenger, Captain America. In this universe, Steve is injured and fights in the Hydra Stomper, an Iron Man armor created by Howard Stark. So, and it basically says everything the same thing in a different language. This is French. This looks like it's German. Can't read that, but I can read it in Spanish. En el universo que conoces, Steve Rogers fue el primer Vengador, el Capitán América. En este universo, Steve está lesionado y tiene que pelear en la Stomper Hydra, una armadura Iron Man creada por Howard Stark. And that's it. So there you go. It gives you the storyline right there. And let's get this sucker opened. And let me see. So as I was saying, I got this at a toy show for a really good price, and the guy that sold it to me told me that he had a lot. He had like 4 of them, so I only bought the one, and he said that he actually bought them to do army building. So kudos to you if you can army build with figures that cost over $30. That is definitely something that I cannot do. I mean, I guess I could, but I would like to keep my house. My family is pretty comfortable here, and I would rather keep that than army build with figures that cost $35 plus. Because I guarantee you that there were at least some stores that were selling this for over $35. So this was already a good deal, and then he cut it in half, so how could I say no? In fact, I was on my way out of the toy show, and I came back in to make like one last minute purchase, and I saw these. He actually had another figure that was hiding them. This is a very big, chunky boy, and he's very heavy. Alright, I saw another figure that was hiding them. And I told him, why would you hide this behind another figure? Oh, there we go. It's his jetpack that's back there. That is really cool, gang. That is really cool. I love this take on the Iron Man suit. How could you not want a Hydra Stomper? Especially, and as you can see, I've got his other Iron Man brethren back there waiting for him. Looks like he comes with an extra set of hands and some special effects, either for his feet or his hands. I don't know. Or maybe not even his feet. No, it's going to be for the jetpack. So this is going to be very noisy. I have no place to grab him from. There we go. Step out. There he is. Set him free. Alright, so first impressions. I'm not gonna lie, he is a little bit wobbly and he is very rubbery. I was very satisfied with the Model 1 over here, both Model 1s. I was very satisfied with those guys, both in the silver and gold. They were very sturdy. For their size, they were very heavy. This guy feels a little wobbly and a little rubbery. Not quite digging that. I'm not going to lie. And taking out the extra hands here. I know I'm kind of doing it off camera. So let me try to stand him up. So far, it's kind of hard to stand. I have to put him in some kind of an extreme pose to stand him. Come on, find your center, Steve. There we go. Alright, so just taking off the special effects here. He's very reminiscent of the Iron Giant as well to me. There we go. Alright, so let's check out the articulation. Of course, he's got, looks like he's got ratcheted articulation. And can he do a T-pose? Yes, he can. And let's look at his head. Left and right and up and down. Very good. And he can bend at the wrist here, bend at the elbow, of course, twist at the bicep. That's good. I know he can bend at the knee, but right now it's kind of hard. I don't want to break him. I'm going to try the other leg. There we go. So he can bend at the knee. He can bend at the ankle. Does he have ankle twist? Kind of. There we go. He's got that cool machine gun going. And I'm pretty sure we can put this here. Nope, I was wrong. Doesn't fit. So that's going to be strictly, looks like we can bend him here. So, and this seems to be just kind of a belt. Okay. What about ab crunch? No ab crunch. And we can spread his legs a little. So there he is. Let's give him a spin before we put the jetpack on him, so you guys can see all that detail. So as far as the way he looks amazing. But again, I'm a little disappointed. He feels a little bit too rubbery. Almost like a McFarlane toy. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I do not like McFarlane toys. So what are we doing with this guy here? It looks like, there we go. We put him there. Same thing for this guy. I think I put them on backwards. I did. There we go. We want that visible. Like, honestly, I don't see any reason for this to be 3 separate pieces. Except that, oh, well, that's cool, because you can switch the way that it looks. You can either make it so that the tanks are very close, or the thrusters or whatever. Okay, not bad. Let's put him on his back. There he is, complete. And of course these special effects are for those thrusters. But you can see it was already hard enough to stand. Now he's even harder. So it looks like we're definitely going to have to put him in some kind of a pose in order for him to stand now that he's got his jetpack on. I like the hand like that. Let's give him a fist instead. Alright, well sadly, if I'm going to rate this guy, I'm going to rate him a 6. Because even though he does look pretty amazing, he's very hard to stand. He is very hard to stand. Am I doing all that off camera? Sorry, gang. He is very, very hard to stand. Wow. There we go. And even then, he feels like he's gonna fall pretty easily. So we have to lean him forward. There he is. In an awkward standing pose. There we go. So that is the best I could do as far as getting him to stand. And there he is with the jetpack. Let's open it up so you can see all the details. Again, not gonna lie, pretty disappointed here. But I am glad that I got him for the cheap price that I got him. I definitely wanted to get a Hydra Stomper. And there he is. Again, he looks amazing as a statue. Probably a good as a display one, a good toy. But he's so hard to stand that. Let's see. There we go. Ah, he's actually standing. Good. So you got to get his legs pretty spread open. Now, as far as a toy, if you actually get this for like your kids or something, and all they're gonna do is hold him and, you know, stomp on somebody else like this, then yeah, that's a cool toy. He looks pretty awesome, but as you can see, he's pretty wobbly. He's pretty rubbery. Very much like a McFarlane toy. Not a problem that you have with these guys. But of course they're much lighter and much smaller. But there he is, gang. So Hydra Stomper. Like I said, and I think I'm being generous with a 6, but that's what I would give it. Still pretty cool. It would have been better if you could open it up and then Steve Rogers was actually in there. But that would end up probably costing us a good $60 to $100. So that's it. Video's turning long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it here. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you own one? What do you think of it? Do you agree with me that he's too rubbery? He's too much like a McFarlane toy. I don't like McFarlane toys, not the figures anyway, for the most part. So let me know in the comments. And as usual, if you like the video, hit a like. And if you like the content, subscribe. Thanks for watching, gang.